Hello, this is James Fargon with the nightly Newsfeed Wrap-Up, May 11th, right? So the 11th nightly news wrap-up and fighting the odds on YouTube. They are cooking my numbers and incinerating me, but that's okay. I'm going to keep going. I don't care. Tonight I'm going to zip through some headlines and then I'm going to give the stage to my new friend Perry Zanett, who is an American actor seeking a new life in this beautiful country of South Korea. So first I'm going to go to the new root of truth, gemstonefreelance.com. It's going to get a bit darker here. He has that format because he shows a lot of photographs, very high resolution photographs to prove his points. Now, I'm just looking at this for the first time in a little while. He's addressing James Corbett and addressing some disinformation that came out through James Corbett, who lives in Japan and produces some interesting reports. But recently his oeuvre has been infected with disinformation, and Jim is addressing that. The more interesting aspects of Jim's recent work are, don't worry about Reactor 4, folks. It's all bullshit. What you're hearing from the mainstream media and the so-called alternative media, it's bullshit. Reactor 4 is in no danger of falling over, and now what we're coming up to here is like a bombshell, okay? To summarize, I wrote some articles about Jim Stone's Fukushima report proving that Israel attacked Japan with the Fukushima event. Rents said, not only will I not link to that, you will not post it, or I will sever relations with you. That triggered a war on the internet. And now we have from Stone, new evidence indicates that Rents could be dead or silenced. This is a serious report and not a joke. I have proof that Rents linked this site and gave it the initial boost that launched it. Rents launched Stone. For those of you who are following the drama, Rents launched Stone. Okay, I'm not going to puzzle piece the irony here. It's really extraordinary. He provides screen captures of emails that he got from people saying that they came to his site through Rents. And then he goes on to argue that, well, he says, have you ever seen a great Elvis impersonator? He saw a second-rate Elvis impersonator in Branson, Missouri, and the guy blew him away. And it was live, public, not in front of a webcam. And his main point is, well, Rents probably pissed off a lot of powerful people. And he linked to the Jim Stone Fukushima report and then quickly did not link to it anymore. And how difficult would it be to fake a Rents? With the millions of dollars the CIA has to work with, how hard would it be to fake a Jeff Rents? Let's be straight here. You would need to grow your hair long, smoke a little pot, and look real tired in front of a webcam. That's a far cry from having to sing and act a part on a stage with realism in front of a live audience. So here we have Jim Stone postulating that perhaps Jeff Rents is either in containment or 6 feet under. I think that is a bombshell if I ever saw one. Let me check my time here. Coming up on 5 minutes and 15 seconds, so I don't have much more time before I hand the reins over to Perry. I'm just going to zip through the headlines of David Icke real quick. Possession is not a myth, it's real and it's running the world, but we have the power, not them. I hope David is right. And David is touching on a theme that Macau has been pushing, which is that mankind is satanically possessed. I don't understand everything. I hope David's a good person, a good man. I hope that. Buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. David's son, Gareth, great musician. Thank you, Gareth. I'm not going to begin to... ultra-Orthodox shun their own for reporting child sexual abuse. Moving on. Group that admitted manufacturing global warming threat, admitted, still pushes same hoax. It's to tax you for breathing carbon dioxide. When I was in high school, it was carbon monoxide. I don't know where the change took place. TSA toddler terror, family marched off plane, 18-month-old on no-fly list. How much more fucking insane does it have to get, folks? I talked to Korean men, and they said if they were confronted with this kind of nonsense, they would pick up aluminum baseball bats. And I believe them. I'm going to have to cut it off here because Perry recently flew here from America, and he went through the checkpoints, and I wanted to vet that out and like see, well, what did you go through, sir? Now Perry is going to tell you what he went through with the TSA goons. And just to let you know, Perry, you have about 7 minutes left. Here you go.
Hello, I'm Perry Zanett. Maybe you remember me from last night. Well, I did get on the, I did take a flight to Korea. It was a 2-stage flight. The first flight came to Dubai. When we were called up to board the plane at JFK at about 10:15 Tuesday, May 8th, we were brought down to the baggage check or division, of course, and we moved forward. No one told us what we had to do. I was at somewhat of a loss. I haven't traveled abroad in almost 20 years. They said we had to pick up these plastic crates and put apparently everything in them. But then we were told we didn't have to, that we only had to put our jackets, metal objects such as cell phones and the like. I put my bag, a traveling bag I have that's slung over my shoulder, on the conveyor belt that goes through a small covered area, and a suit bag I had with me too. And I had given my plastic box to someone else.
14.5 minutes is your limit. Watch it.
All right. I did give it to someone else. And then when I went through the line, I was told that this was not... When I went through the line, I was told that this was... I had to take off my jacket. So I did. And they said, okay, you can get one of the boxes. I did. No one had been there to tell us this before. Well, the personnel were there, but they didn't tell us. I put it in the box, and they says, oh, we need your belt too, sir. So I took off my belt, and my pants nearly fell down. And they says, you have to step out of your shoes too. I did. Then I went through the metal detector. Everything was fine. And I talked to one particularly officious guard who went through my blue traveling bag, and he saw a mailing packet and said, what's in here, sir? And I said, photographs of me and my friends. I said that distinctly. He opened up the photographs and the package and started looking through the photographs. And he said, sir, I don't see you in any of these photographs. And this fellow in this photograph here doesn't look anything like you. I said, as I said, they were photographs of me and my friends. He says, oh, and then he saw a few photographs of me. Then I wanted to go through, and he wouldn't let me. He had to go through something. I wanted to look at my box, the plastic box in which I put my wallet, obviously, because it's very close to me, and all my identification and money is in there. I had to leave it there while he asked me questions, while he went through my bag. I says, I wanted to get it. Can't I get it now? He says, sir, you should have picked it up when you had the chance a few minutes earlier. I said, I didn't know I had the ability to pick it up a few minutes earlier and take it with me. I thought everything had to be inspected by you folks and left there until you gave me the all clear. He says, well, sir, that's not my fault you felt that way. It's not my responsibility to look after your belongings. I says, what do you mean it's not your responsibility to look after my belongings? I felt certain you're the one inspecting me. You're the one who has to look through all this and then tell me that it's all right to pick it up. He says, sir, don't give me any of that talk. Don't you be obnoxious with me. Don't tell me my job and things like that. A woman guard came over and said, stop picking on him. He says, no, I won't stop picking on him. He's not going to tell me it's my responsibility to look after his stuff. He says, look, why don't you just go take a rest? And he went off for a few minutes. Then he came back and he was reasonable. He said, oh, sir, would you like me to help you repack? Would you like me to repack your bag? And I thought after the hard time he had given me, that was the least he could do. He repacked it. He looked through it. He found 2 scissors. I keep them with me to trim the backs of my resumes to match my headshots when I go to New York. One of them, the bigger pair, belonged to my mother, was a sentimental attachment. He says, sir, but he said it politely, you can't use these. You can't take them on a plane. You could use them as a weapon. We can't allow that. I said, oh, he says, you didn't know that? And I said, well, it's been some time since I've traveled abroad. And he said, some time, huh? I said, yeah. And then he was polite. I just gathered up all my stuff and went on. But he was rather rude and obnoxious and pushy as to what his responsibilities were and were not. Should have explained, that I could pick something up before he had a chance to give me the all clear, but he didn't.
Okay, so I got to close out now. So in this report, no naked body scanners and no pat downs. So as far as what the truth is in the alternative news media is, I don't know. I've got friends and family in America telling me it's not that bad. I just want the truth. You just heard direct testimony from someone who went through the process very recently through New York. Okay? So, keep your feelers feeling and let's vet the truth out. I'm going to close now because I don't want to have to do this again. This is James Fargon, Nightly News Feed, May 11th, 2012. Over and out. Thank you, Perry.
You're welcome, Jim.
Good night.